भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Friends, let us pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all, Thou art all, Thou assumest all forms, Thou art the origin and goal of all, Thou art the self of all, Thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Today's service is dedicated to the great message of Lord Buddha, and so there will be one opening song and a closing song. So the opening song is a poem by Swami Vivekananda in the honor of Buddha. It is titled as No One But Me to Blame. So it will be displayed and our Peter will be leading. Many of you know the tune, so please feel free to join.
The sun goes down, its crimson rays light up the dying sky. A startled glance I throw behind and count my triumph shame. No one but me to blame. Each day my life I make or mar, each deed begets its kind. Good, good, bad, bad, the tide once set. No one can stop or stem. No one but me to blame. I am my own embodied past, therein the plan was made. The world of thought to that conform, and that the outer frame. No one but me to blame. Love comes reflected back as love. Hate breeds more fierce hate. They meet their measures, lay on me. Life and death they claim. No one but me to blame. I cast off fear and vain remorse, and fear my karma's sway. I face the blows my deeds have raised, joy, sorrow, censure, fame. No one but me to blame. Good, bad, love, hate, and pleasure, pain, forever linked go. The dreams of pleasure without pain, it never, never came. No one but me to blame. I give up hate, I give up love. My thirst for life is gone. Eternal death is what I want. Nirvana goes life's flame. No one is left to blame. One only man, one only God, one ever perfect soul, one only sage who ever scorned the dark and dubious ways, one only man who dared think and dared show the goal that death is curse and so is life, and best when stops to be. Om Namo Bhagavate Sambudhaya. Om.
Thank you, Peter. Om Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Perfected One. I take refuge in His Dhamma, the teachings. I take refuge in the holy order of followers of the Dhamma. Dear friends, it's a common theme usually taken up on this day, the Eightfold Noble Path prescribed by Lord Buddha, who was the most practical person. He didn't pay attention to various conflicting doctrines and trying to prove certain metaphysical facts, did not even say yes or no about those things, told followers that do not think of those things at all. I didn't tell you that whether God is or God is not. Why worry about it? Look at the facts of life, that there is the suffering. Does anybody like suffering? Does anybody want suffering? No. So get released from these sufferings in a very logical, consistent way by following it. It is a very simple religion in a way, that you don't need to philosophize too many things. It becomes complicated only because our minds are very crooked, complicated, full of so-called intellectualism. It is actually a stupidity to keep on ratiocinating and getting into hair-splitting arguments on what we actually experience and should therefore have no doubt about it. So, Buddha presented that in his 4 noble truths, and they were outcome of his own experience. It is and it is the experience of anybody. I mean, it's a generalized human experience, one can say, that he sees the evils. He sees the source of this misery, that he saw the old age, he saw the disease, he saw the death. Now we all see that. Who doesn't see? We all see people getting old, losing strength in the limbs, strength in the brain. We lose that. That is a common experience. We have all seen that. But have we seen it really? We have seen it. Okay, it happens to that somebody. Does it happen to me? Oh, well, it is going to happen to everyone. My goodness, yes. I am going towards that state where the limbs will not have strength to move. I will not have even the strength of body and mind to think right. It is all the problem of old age. I remember an incident, and I had told about it before as well. I remember that it is one young man was talking to a Swami in one of our centers. I was present there. That Swami was a little outspoken of that type, and this young man said, well, all these religious disciplines and everything, it is to be followed when you become old, isn't it? In the youthful days, we have vigor, we should follow our goals of career, then enjoyments of life, and then later on, when we become old, then we should think of these religious things. That Swami said that when you become old, you will not have even the strength to go to number 1, number 2. What is the question of spiritual practice, you say? It is, don't wait till then. So, when we see this, oh, this is the truth. Disease, oh, that yes, a healthy body just gets some terrible disease, the frame just gets bent, is not able to even do anything, is suffering because of that disease that we see, but we don't see that it can happen to me. It is going to happen to me. It is to be felt like that. Then it is seen. And then the death. Yes, we all see. But do we know that it is the inevitable thing and it is going to happen to me? Well, do I want all that? No. Then what is the way out? If I don't want it, how should I conduct myself? So, Buddha went through many different spiritual disciplines. I am not going to discuss all of them. It is very well documented in his biography. And then he, with deep meditation under that Bodhi tree, and got that enlightenment and saw these 4 noble truths. They are called noble because unless the mind is raised to that level of nobility, they do not appeal to us. That is why they are called noble truths. that when you come, when your level of awareness rises to that nobility, actually humanity. Otherwise, it is an animal life. I mean, when our level of awareness rises to the level of being a human, then we can appreciate it. And these four noble truths. It is called in Pali or Sanskrit, as you can see there, it is the Arya Satyam, that it is, Arya means noble. His Arya does not here mean a particular race or anything. It actually is never the meaning in the Sanskrit literature. It is the figment of imagination of the Western Indologist. In no Indian scripture the word Arya is used as a particular race. It is, the meaning is noble. When the person becomes noble, then that is called Arya. So it is certainly not a particular racial name. It is, the Arya is that. It is, the Western scholars have went into, dividing Aryans and Dravidians and whatnot. It is, Swami Vivekananda has criticized this tendency a lot. So it is, and then in these four noble truths, the first is the noble truth of suffering. Everything in this world is fraught with suffering. It is because it is all impermanent. It comes, it goes, and we want to hold on to it, hold on to that which is sure to vanish, sure to get out of our grips, and then we feel sorry, suffer because of that. And so this suffering is all widespread. Everywhere, everybody suffers. So it is expressed in this Pali canon as Sarvam Khanikam, Sabbam Khanikam, Sabbam Shunyam, Sabbam Dukkham. That everything is momentary. And there is no substance to any of those things, and therefore it is suffering. And then, that story that in Buddha's life, that famous story of trying to get 5 mustard seeds. A woman whose young son died, and naturally she was besides herself with tremendous suffering, misery, and she brought that body to Buddha and then said, please make this child alive. Now Buddha was not that miracle doing person, not at all. He said, okay, I will do it, provided you can go and get 5 those mustard seeds from any home. But one condition, in that family there, nobody should have died. She's in her that insanity due to misery, she thought that that's possible, because one thinks that I only am miserable, I am the unlucky one. But then she went and knocked on all doors and saw that no such 5 mustard seeds can be made available. Mustard seeds is a very common spice used in all those areas. So it is available at every home. But all those families, somebody sometime has certainly died. And that dawned that truth on that woman. Oh, that I am not, she comes back to Buddha. Now I understood. I have seen the light. Now I will follow this path. That is the first noble truth. Second noble truth is that there is the cause of this suffering. Because if there is a cause, if you take out the cause, then the effect will go away. It is, if there is no cause, like in some diseases, the doctors are not able to diagnose. No cause is found out. All tests came out to be negative. So the diagnosis is not possible, no cause is seen for this condition, and therefore no cure can be effected. So Buddha says the second noble truth, that there is the cause for this suffering. And this cause is our running after the things that are not real. This terrible attachment to these things out of ignorance, that is caused by ignorance. There is the sequence of cause, I am not going into the details, called Pratittha Samutpad, means this causes this, this causes this, this causes this. It ultimately comes to that we are ignorant. Out of ignorance we think those which are the things which are unreal as real, then run after them, then get attached to them, and thus keep on suffering. So it is, he says, there is the cause. Well, is there the cessation of the cause? That is the third noble truth. Yes, you see, in that vision that Buddha saw, that where he saw the old age and disease and death, he also saw that a person full of blessedness, no suffering. He was a person who had renounced this running after all these dreams. So it is, he was not chasing the horizons. He had gotten that wisdom that one should not chase the horizon. So it is, he saw that there is this cessation of suffering when you stop chasing that which is unreal. You have that thing. But is it there possible for all of us? Or is it possible only for some fortunate few? Is it possible for all of us? Yes! An emphatic yes. Because there is a path. There is the path. Just think of it, is it possible for anybody to come to Vedanta Society of Providence? Well, yes, you have the address and just put it in these days Google. Google it and then follow and you will arrive here. So many people arrive here like that yes, these days the problem is even if they know the road, they put the Google on that. So it is overuse of things, you see. So it is the path is there, a practically approachable path for everyone. No superstitions, not just believing this book and that book, not believing somebody sitting there in somewhere in the heaven is going to shower grace on me. This is something that is put right on our shoulders. It is, we have to follow this path. This following the path is important. What it means is connecting the end and the means. So, as Swami Vivekananda mentions in that beautiful lecture that he gave in Pasadena in California, that work and its secret, that you need to connect the means and the end, and they follow the means, the end has to be there. Why will it not be there? It has to be there. So this is this eightfold path, And remember, as I have mentioned there in the slideshow, that it is not 8-step, it is eightfold. Not that you take one step, then give up that step and climb to the next. These are not 8 steps. Many make this mistake. It is eightfold. Means all these things have to be followed kind of simultaneously. They are together. They are. It is like the 8 petals of a flower or 8 limbs. Therefore, they are called the eightfold, not 8-step noble path. These are the 8 aspects of this path. So it is, and this is the 4th noble truth. Eightfold noble path is the expansion, the details about this 4th noble truth, that there is the path for this cessation of suffering. So we shall briefly see this. There is immense, wonderful literature available on this, many books, and they are really the sayings of Buddha himself. Probably Buddha was the first teacher whose teachings have been very well recorded. So it is not left to somebody's surmise, might have said. Not like that. They have been taken down very well, and so you see in all those writings, the canon, Pali canon, you hear this word, you read these words, I have heard like this. So somebody who heard Buddha saying like this has taken these things, written these things. So these are this eightfold noble path. It is then it is what Buddha taught. Then the Buddhist philosophers, they divided this 8 into 3 different steps. That it is the moral discipline group that made up of the right speech, right action, and right livelihood. The concentration group, Samadhi Skandha, and then the third is the wisdom group, made up of right view and right intention. So, this is from Bodhi Bhikkhu, a wonderful writer on these matters, a great teacher. So, it is, we shall briefly see these things. It is that how these are going to make us move forward on this path. So, although these 3 are sections, the actual enumeration does not follow these 3 orders as such. For example, the wisdom group has those 2 aspects of the path which are given right in the beginning, because they are of 2 categories, some for the beginners and some, it kind of continues throughout this eightfold noble path. So therefore, they are given in the beginning. So it is, the first is right view, samadhi. Now, the translations have some problem. People certainly, they are very good translators, but all, from one language to another, everything cannot be put exactly. Especially because, at least in the modern English that had been practiced for a few hundred years, these concepts are not there. The whole Western philosophy based on the Descartes, compartments, this or this. So this word samma means it is, the Sanskrit word is samyak, means it is a comprehensive, deep and truthful understanding where things are harmoniously perceived together. So that is the idea when it is said right. It is not like the right wing and the left wing like that. It is the right means that which is comprehensive, not piecemeal, that which is deep, not superficial, and that which is also automatically is the ultimate truth gets revealed by that. So this is, you thus learn to separate essentials from non-essentials. The incidentals is written here, like in the medications, if you read the bottle, they say the active ingredient. They give something, active ingredient, and then inactive excipients. So, in our experience here, there is something that is unchanging, essential aspect. And what is the non-essential aspect? Form. And then the name given to that form. That is the unessential aspect of it, because it is subject to change. I give many times this example because it works very well. The animal crackers. That the shapes are not what you eat. The taste doesn't belong to any shape. Whether, say, you are eating a rabbit, it will taste the same as eating a lion. Rabbit and lion are not same, but go deep and then discard the shape. Like we see everything, just discard the shape, transcend the shape. It is a psychological exercise to transcend it. It is not like you then bring all people together and mash them together. No, not in that sense, but transcend. Go beyond the awareness of shape. Like you go beyond the awareness of the shape of that animal cracker. You don't care, only the very little babies, they think about it. Then you know that all of them taste same, they are all same substance. So, when we transcend the shape, we shall be able to see the same substance, the ultimate truth. Whatever name you may give it, that one will be able to actually perceive. That is the ultimate of this sammaditi, or the right view. That yes, but it should begin by this practice. This is path, so it is practice, it progresses. So let us put this into practice, that think beyond form. Try to see the essentials. Try, therefore, in everything, that comprehensive vision will mean that you are seeing the consequence of what you are doing. You will be seeing that, yes, you will not get just impulsively pulled at things by a superficial understanding. You will see where the thing will lead me to and all that. So, that is the comprehensive or the right view. And then the right view would follow again. That word samma is not exactly right, but it is the right resolve. That actual progress requires the resolve. Yes, I will have to get it. This is what I have to direct my mind to. It is otherwise we have resolves in life, but about the things that are ultimately not conducive to this progress on this path. Tremendous resolve people have that, I tells that incident sometimes that while coming from Alaska, a lady was in the flight, she sat besides me, and then we were talking, hey, where are you going to Boston? She said, well, I hail from Massachusetts. My home is still, my parents are still there. Oh, is it? Then how you ended up in Alaska? Oh, she said, to make the long story short, I had a boyfriend, and then I didn't want to lose him. So he ended up going to Alaska. So I also therefore decided to go to Alaska and look for him. Then what happened? Well, Alaska is not a small place, so it is. I couldn't. After a long time, I learned that he is staying in some far-off place in Alaska, so I could not meet him. But then I got a job in Alaska, so I am doing it. So see the resolve, to follow that boyfriend. From where? Massachusetts, and then goes to Alaska, and then, So it is, resolve is there. Yes, there is gold in California or Alaska, there gold rush, you have seen it. People with resolve go for that. But what is the use of this resolve, friends? So, right resolve that yes, I want this ultimate truth, to stop running after sense pleasures, develop love for truth, and practice of non-injury. This is a resolve that will take, of course, time to put it in perfect practice. But let us begin. This is path. So you may not reach the ultimate goal of it in a few minutes. And that is the problem. That idea will come further. That resolve means there has to be the sense of perseverance there. It is not going to happen in 1 day, 2 days, because I am telling this because many people, they keep on calling me. Swami, nothing is happening, or nothing is happening. It is 3 full days are over after I was initiated, and still I have not realized the truth. Oh well, what is wait, practice. Maybe it will take 3 years, 300 years, 300 lifetimes. But that is the way. Keep on going, you will succeed today or tomorrow. But the question is following the right path. So it is, then there is the right speech. Very important. Because our speech is a very big factor. And we talk just without thinking. It is the thought should precede the talk, but many times we talk and then think. That thinking then has another name, repentance. Why did I say these things? It is so. Proper speech means abstaining from falsehood, hatred, harshness, idle chat. One can see these things again very beautifully presented in Bhagavad Gita, called the austerity of speech. So, and there is a quote from Buddha himself there, that he speaks such words as are gentle, soothing to the ear, loving, such words as go to the heart. Such words as go to the heart, and are courteous, friendly, and agreeable. So it is said he, though, somebody say, why he? It is all, there should be, gender equality. Maybe the reason is that she is always courteous, she is always friendly, She is always speaking the truth and so forth, isn't it? So therefore, it is only said he, what can be done. It is anyway. So, right conduct. There is, without stick or sword, conscientious, full of sympathy, he is desirous of the welfare of all sentient beings. It is every being, one is, that actions should be like that. Our actions should not be born out of hatred. So it is like this, the intention has to be changed, but the action is important. Because if we do not allow the action to happen for the bad intention, what happens is that intention doesn't get scope. This is the commonly known psychology. That which gets scope grows. That which does not get scope does not grow. So therefore, the action should be such that it will then have the bearing on the intention. Because controlling the action is easier than controlling the intention. It is, the body can be controlled more easily. If I want that body, say hand go up, the hand can be taken up easily, comparatively. If I tell, oh mind, remain on the discourse that is given by Swami, is it easy, Charlie? Okay, so because to keep the mind at a place is not that easy. But by using the body, we can gradually change the intentions, the mind. So it is there, this idea of right becomes applicable to that as well. It is, then there is this important thing, that right livelihood. It is to get wealth by all means. And there is no end to it, how much you require to live. Well, the need can be satisfied, but greed can never be satisfied. It is that famous story that I had read in childhood. I am sure you must have also read that Tolstoy story, how much land a man needs. So how much do we need? It is very little. It is so Jesus says that, well, look, those lilies, or he speaks about the birds, they never toil, they never do anything, and yet they are being fed, they are being clothed. Why you are after accumulating so many things? That becomes such a bondage that let me get more, let me get more. Well, I think it is, I have enough for my living, but I want to live for my children, and then for my grandchildren, and even if you have enough for them, you will keep on worrying about what will happen to my fifth generation, then they will all die starving, you see, so let me keep on working to get things for them as well. It is all, nonsensical stupidity, but it is because of this greed, we go for that, and because of that greed, we go into all immoral ways of earning livelihood. It is important because what we sustain our bodies with, that leaves a mark on our psyche. It is, if I am earning my livelihood by immoral means, then what happens is everything has a gross part and the subtle part. Like we have the body and the mind. Food also has that, the gross body aspect and the subtle mind aspect. The gross aspect, well, as Jesus mentioned, that it doesn't spoil you. But the subtle aspect, if you have acquired that food with the immoral means, then that will go into you. It will tend to make you immoral more and more. So it is therefore a very important aspect that is somehow not paid much attention to. People pay more attention to whether it is legal or illegal. But more important thing is it moral or immoral? It is legal, illegal, like somebody will not, has to actually pay taxes. Will find out, will appoint a few expert lawyers and accountants to present the accounts in such a way that will not have to pay taxes legally. Well, morally, who knows, It is, therefore it is important that the moral aspect of it. So we do not injure others, we do not snatch away things from others, and so forth. Very important. So there should be honesty in our livelihood, not just because honesty is the best policy for running the business. It is not that kind of policy what is mentioned here by honesty, but it's a moral and therefore spiritually conducive virtue, and that needs the proper practice. And then the right effort. Samma vyayam means right exercise has to be given. The muscles that we give exercise to, they become stronger. So our spiritual muscles have to be given proper exercise. Means that whatever the practice that Guru has told, called sadhana, that relentless, focused sadhana, going on for a long time without a break, without giving it up. One has to do that to get the proper effect in our life. There is this famous well-known story that it has to be, perseverance has to be there, that there was very little water in a jar at the bottom of it. Now the crow tries to drink, you can see this beak is not reaching there. So it started getting the pebbles, putting in the jar, and then the water level started rising. Didn't give it up in the middle, needed to bring lot of pebbles, but not like some of us. It takes long time. I don't want to do it. Well, then you don't get water. Simple enough. So continue the effort relentlessly without giving up. So this is the right effort. It has to be right. That the direction is important here. That you must keep on moving in the right direction. The speed is not that important, but the direction is very important. Our various Swamis who had mentored me always emphasized on this. Direction should be right. It is the speed a little more or less depending on your instrument. that the psychophysical instrument, that will vary. You will not be able to do as fast as, say, Sri Ramakrishna or Vivekananda did. No, but you can follow the same direction. Somebody goes from here to California in some 5-6 hours by taking a flight. If, say, Charlie is going to walk from Providence to San Francisco, if the direction is right, today, tomorrow, after 6 months, he will reach there. That is important, And once you reach, the time doesn't matter how long you took, who cares, you got there. So, this is the important idea there, that one should continue, right effort. Again, let me quote from that I quoted in the beginning, that connecting the means and the end. That is very important. Swami Vivekananda says in that very lecture that we forget that it is holding on to the means that we can get to the end. And therefore, the goal becomes so big in our mental horizon, means. That is this right effort. And then we see that right mindfulness. This word has become so cheap these days, everybody, I am practicing mindfulness meditation. What does it mean? No, we should be mindful about what we are doing, So yes, what it means actually is being conscientious at every moment that it is whether I am doing right thing or not right thing. That is, and the Buddha therefore says about this, that it is not a glibly used word, mindfulness. It is sammasati. It is actually the importance of being aware and keeping the memory strong. That sriti, the Sanskrit word is smriti. That it is means memory. Always remember what is your goal in life. And do not waver from that. Whatever other things you are doing, make them directed towards that goal. That is the mindfulness. It is very important because on this path there are so many temptations, and then they may drag you to the wrong route. So it is, one should be very careful. Therefore, mindfulness is that, to be always making the efforts go towards the goal. So, keep the memory of that. So, it is the mindfulness, right mindfulness. And then the right concentration. It kind of summarizes this eighth aspect, that samadhi. The word concentration again does not really reflect everything that is expressed by this word. A comprehensive, total samadhi at every step means it is all different levels of this samadhi, means ultimate realization of the goal, are included here in this word samadhi. It is the mind has to be kept in proper condition, proper shape, and the connection with the goal has to become gradually stronger and stronger, and thus you become one with that goal. So it is, this is the important aspect, last aspect. In description, it is all the last aspect. That is the problem with our human intellect. We have to discuss things in an order, although they are all together. It is, therefore, sometimes there is a lot of anger that why that person's name was taken first, although I was doing the major work, and my name in the list of thanks came later than that person. Well, sir, it is very difficult, to explain. You have to, after all, if I have to enumerate all the people who are sitting in the hall, then, I have to begin somehow, and then somebody may get angry why it is my name was not taken first, I was sitting in the front row. No, it is somehow we have to arrange those things. So our words are like that, our language is like that, because our brain is like that basically. So it is, therefore, these are 8 aspects, and this is last in the description. But that is not the last in the way of importance. Therefore, in these mentions, many say, last but not the least. So this is last but not the least. Very important thing, that the levels of concentration, and they have to build up, grow. It is a movement on the path. This is the practical science, and it is practically one has to move. So therefore these are the Eightfold Path. So many aspects of this path have been told, and one can easily see, as I mentioned, Buddha does not invoke any scriptural authority, any kind of, some God's authority. It is something that I found out by experimenting, and therefore he says, Tasma Buddhosmi Brahmana, that I am called Buddha. I was born like anybody, like Siddhartha was my name. I was not called Buddha. But why I am called Buddha now? Because I followed the path, I gave up what needed to be given up, and I held on to that which is to be held on to. And therefore, now I am called Buddha. So anybody who does that, that is the very important thing. Anybody. Certain religions, Swami Vivekananda mentions that although the great people from whom that religion originated, they say, they found the truth, but we cannot do it. We just have to take their words for granted and worship them and lead our life in our own way, and that's it. No, each one can realize this truth in life. That is how Buddha is born. I remember a very nice lecture many years ago. I had invited that Buddhist teacher, and then on the day of Buddha's birthday, so he said, topic, he said, I will speak about birth of Buddha. And then he gave all these things, these teachings, and said, the one who follows the teaching, there the Buddha is born. That is the birth of Buddha. Each of us is a potential Buddha. And thus, when we practice this, who is born, Charlie? A Buddha is born, and that is the Buddha's birthday. So thank you, friends. We discussed these things, and there will be a closing song. That song was written by a wonderful musician, and he used to be the secretary of Vedanta Society, V. Layton. So Abhijit will lead us into that song. Very nice tune. Please feel free to join.
Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. In birth and growth, death and decay, the endless wheel turn on. He broke that wheel for us that day, he saw the noble truth. He turned away from a king's reward to look at life in full. His eyes only saw our grief, his heart a tale of woe. Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. We felt apart the burden great, the weight of life and death. He turned and spoke to such as we, our hearts became his own. Our cries were plain, yet no one heard. Their hearts all turned to stone. He heard our moans, he knew our pain. Compassion rules his heart. Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. We dreamed and dreamed this empty play, delusion filled our minds. But he awoke and broke the dream, the Lord of truth and light. We saw until he came to us, but shadows, mist and murk. He brought a lamp into our lives, a light to show our way. Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. We searched for peace, some end to strife. Desire held us too close. He came and freed our hearts of fear, the rule of flesh undone. We knew not who nor whence we'd come, and why we drifted so. But he with love has made all clear, a way for all to see. Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. Rejoice, rejoice, now let us sing, for he was born this day. Through truth the Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all. Through Buddha, Buddha has found the way, Nirvana his gift to all.
Any questions? So, let me tell you about the upcoming programs, and then we will go to the Arati. June, yeah. Next Sunday service will be oh, where is the June flyer? Oh, here it is. Okay. Yes. I was going to tell you from flyer of June 2020, you know. So it is. June 6th, the topic of discussion is philosophy. Do we need it? The other programs during the week will go on as usual. The Tuesday, Friday talks. And Tuesday the topic is Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. Friday it is the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. Both these happen at 7:30 p.m. And then coming Saturday, that is 5th, there is the day-long meditation. So this day-long meditation, people can join. Of course, there are regulations about it. You can see on our website, on the flyer. Then there is the upcoming spiritual retreat on June 12. That is going to happen in person only. And for a limited attendance, the attendance is actually, it is almost full. I saw 95% was full. So if you want to sign up, please, that Naomi is sitting there, you can sign up for that. And that's about it. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
Stay there, Lord. destroyed by your light. All our darkness is destroyed by your
Blessed
Jai